Hello everyone, you're welcome to the second belt of the 2018 Ekiti Debate. That's the governorship election debate. We're broadcasting live from Ekiti, the capital of the land of honor and integrity. Indeed, the gentlemen who will be sparring tonight, well, their integrity and their honor definitely will be challenged tonight. It will be tested on the hot seat that we have this evening. Well, in less than 48 hours from this moment, the people of Ekiti State will be faced with a critical decision of who to hand their mandate to. A new #1 citizen that will lead them for the next 4 years and, of course, deliver to them the dividends of democracy. Welcome once again. I am Ngozi Alebu. We'll take a short break. You're welcome back. I'll be introducing the candidates tonight very, very shortly, but I would like to let you know that we're streaming live on our website. It is tvcnews.tv. Well, for this maiden edition, of course, you would know that we had a session earlier in the afternoon at about 2 o'clock. Our involvement in this election, of course, this election debate, the TVC News is partnering with a non-governmental organization known as Enough is Enough, an organization that represents exactly what the TVC stands for, and that is promoting good governance and, of course, public accountability. Please help me in welcoming, once again, the Executive Director of Enough is Enough Nigeria, Yemi Adewale. Please, you can put your hands together for her. Thank you.
Since 2011, EiE has hosted, co-hosted, and supported 15 candidate debates of different formats. EiE is the only civil society organization in Nigeria that has this track record. Our interest in debates is part of our RSVP campaign. Register to vote, select credible candidates, vote, not fight, protect your vote on election day and in the 4 years in between. Debates are a critical element of our select component. We are committed to insisting that candidates must subject themselves to debates to strengthen our democratic space. As civil society organizations provide a platform for citizens to ask candidates critical questions and their answers are challenged in real time. Our debates are selective for 2 reasons. #1, we do not have the resources to buy airtime for all candidates to have equal access. As you know, Nigeria currently has 68 political parties, and 35 are participating in Ekiti's election. #2, candidates have different levels of preparedness and interest in actually serving their people. For these 2 reasons, we select candidates based on 2 factors. #1, quantitative. A poll is conducted by either a partner or an independent organization. #2, qualitative, a review of publicity, posters, rallies, citizen engagement, and media presence. We're particularly excited about this debate because when we hosted a debate in 2014, Mr. Fayose of PDP declined to participate, Mr. Fayemi of APC, and Mr. Bamidele of the Labour Party did not show up. Only Mr. Kole Ajayi of Blessed Memory of our Accord Party showed up, and we had a one-on-one conversation. EiE would like to thank our partners for this debate: Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, SB Morgen, Transition Monitoring Group, and the Center for Democracy and Development. We would particularly like to thank TVC Communication for taking the chance and walking this journey with us. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much, Yemi Adewale, the Executive Director of Enough is Enough, and very well said there too on her part. Well, like every other contest, every contest comes with rules and regulations, and this Ekiti debate will be no exception. The rules are very simple. And of course, let me just reel them out to you, and this specifically is to our audience tonight. There will be no booing. When any candidate is speaking, whether they are a candidate of your choice or the opposing candidate, please, we would appreciate if you do not boo. There will also be no clapping for any candidates whatsoever, whether they're, well, you're in support of them or not. And of course, there will be no cheering. Well, questions, of course, will be set for each session. This debate is going to last for 2 hours. It will be split in 2 sessions. There will be a mini segment for rebuttals, and that will be after each candidate has made their point concerning what exactly they have to offer the people of Ekiti, if indeed they get elected as governor of Ekiti State. And of course, each candidate will have 3 minutes to make their points, to introduce themselves, and of course, 2 minutes, an additional 2 minutes for rebuttals. And very, very important areas, key areas that our candidates will be expected to respond to tonight as they spar will be security. Of course, I'm very sure that security is of paramount importance to every Nigerian, including, of course, the people of Ekiti State. Education. What can you achieve without education? Would like to know from our candidates exactly what they have to offer the people of Ekiti State if they become governor for the next 4 years. And of course, the all-important area, which is healthcare. Healthcare, like almost every other sector, if not all, is in a very dismal situation in Nigeria. What will the candidates do for the people of Ekiti State if they are voted in? And of course, job creation. Presently, unemployment, youth unemployment stands at around 14%. And in many states, it is actually much higher than that. What will the candidates do if they become governor to not only create jobs, but to provide the enabling environment for jobs and entrepreneurship to thrive? Okay, let's at this point bring in a young man who is one of the 35-year-olds tonight. He is one person who is taking advantage of the Not Too Young to Run Act that is now a law in Nigeria. It has reduced the required age of candidates for governorship the age was reduced from 40 to 35. And of course, like I told you earlier, he's one of the 2 35-year-old candidates. He represents, or he is a candidate of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, in the person of Temitope Omotayo. Is Temitope Omotayo in the house? Please step forward. Would like to hear you for a few minutes. We'll give you 7 minutes to talk to not only the audience here, but of course to the rest of the world and indeed all of Ekiti people, home and abroad. Thank you very much.
Temitope Omotayo is my name. I'm 35 years old as at the time I submitted my form to the INEC. I'm a legal practitioner, and I also read economics before I read law. I thank God for everyone that have taken the effort to allow youth to contribute to the Commonwealth of Nigeria. This is a privilege that is not common to the whole world. I'm so happy, and we have a party, the Young Progressive Party. It represents the interests of the youth throughout Nigeria. It's a party that cares for the well-being of the young people. They allow the young people to take part. You need not to have billionaire, or you need not to have stolen. There is a party that represents, that gives integrity to the mass, to the young people. For example, I'm 35 years old. The party chairman, which is Barrister Wale Olasanmi, is 35 years also. They give leverage to young people. And what we intend to do in our party is to tell the whole world that young people, this is their time to do it. And thank God for the passage of the law of the new act, the 4th Amendment to the Nigerian Constitution, which even allowed the young people the more young people in throughout Nigeria to contribute their quotas. From the age, like any young person that want to contest for House of Assembly, the age is as reduced to 25. Most young people, they don't have the asset. Even the National Assembly, the rep, the same thing happened. If you are 35, if you are 25 years old, you can contest. And we have over, the House consists over 360 young Nigeria, which I pray the young people should strive to contribute their quotas. And one challenge that I believe most young people usually have, like we have in Ekiti, we have, according to INEC, from 18 years to 35 years old, we have over 51% of young people. We should be able to come together to take advantage of this law. This law, we believe that even the elderly one may not want to allow us. But if we can come together as the motto of our party says, the unity, we promote unity, service and accountability. If we can come together, we can support one another. I believe come 2019, all the House of Assembly in Nigeria, all House of Assemblies, all House of Assembly in Nigeria, the young people will dominate. They will be able to put the energy, even at the national level, at the House of Representatives. Young people can bring their energy into place. So I urge all young Nigerians to come and support the young people. We should support each other. This is our time. This is the generation this is our own generation. We are the one that is suffering in Nigeria. We don't have jobs. Young people don't have jobs. They don't have anything to do. That's why they make them as the political jobbers. They don't have anything. So if young people can come together, we are the one that can take care of our own problem. We don't have job. Like in our manifesto, for example, we want to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 35-year-old Temitope Omotayo, candidate of the Young Progressive Party, YPP. Of course, the Not Too Young to Run Act has unleashed what some would say unleashing the dragon, where young people will no longer have any sense of limitations when it comes to aspiring for even the highest position in this country. But there is the question, of course, that has continued to be on the lips of so many people. Are young Nigerians really ready to take over the mantle of leadership? That is a question that time, of course, will help us answer. At this point, let's quickly go on a break. When we come back, then we will begin to unveil the candidates for tonight's Ekiti Debate 2018. All right, so welcome back. This is Ekiti Debate 2018 right here in the city of Ado-Ekiti. Beautiful city, I must say. All right, now to the moment that we've all been waiting for. It's time to unveil the candidates, those who will be asking for more or less your hand in marriage for the next 4 years, if you know what I mean. Okay, let me begin by introducing in alphabetical order, of course, the candidates of the Accord Party, AP Abiodun Aluko. Please step to the stage. Thank you very much. Thank you. Take the seat at the extreme right there. But stand, please remain standing. Thank you. The next candidate, of course, is the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Akinloye, Ayegbusi. Please, audience, be reminded the rules of engagement: no clapping, no booing, no sound whatsoever. We do not expect any sound from you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. That's the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Akinloye, Ayegbusi. Thank you very much for joining us. And our third candidate is of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Segun Adewale. Mr. Segun Adewale. Thank you very much. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to call on our audience, please rise as we take the national anthem. Let me invite Ms. Alabaster to take us through the national anthem. Thank you very much.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow and live in just and true. Great love, certain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
All right. Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please, you can take your seats now, including, of course, our sparring candidates for tonight. Thank you very much. Please be reminded, no booing, no cheering, no sounds, please, from the audience. And this is very important so that our candidates, while they make their submissions, are not distracted and lose their train of thought. And it is important, of course, for you, the audience, to understand exactly what the gentlemen have to offer you if indeed you give them your votes to be governor for the next 4 years in Ekiti State. All right, I have reeled out the rules, of course, for the audience. Now time for me to reel out the rules for dear candidates tonight. The rules, as usual, are very, very simple. The debate will run for 2 hours, and of course, we intend to split it in 2 sessions. The first session will be for the candidates to tell us who they are, and of course, the plans that you have, gentlemen, for the good people of Ekiti State. You have 1 minute to do just that, and let me begin. Now you can switch off your mics, gentlemen. Thank you very much. There's a button. Only when it's your turn to speak. Yes. So when I call you, then you can switch on your mic. Thank you very much. Let me go back to that alphabetical order by, of course, calling on the candidate of the Accord Party, AP, Mr. Abiodun Aluko. Tell us, of course, in very few minutes, 2 minutes you have, to introduce yourself and tell the people of Ekiti, indeed the whole world, especially Ekiti people in diaspora, what exactly you have for them in the next 4 years if you're voted in.
My name is Aluko. I am from Ekiti local government. I was the deputy governor of Ekiti State between 2003 and 2007. Before then, I had worked in the public service as a surveyor. I have a degree in geology and applied geophysics. I have a professional diploma in surveying and a professional certificate in computer application and master's in environmental management. I also was the Director General of the Ondo State Chamber of Commerce, as well as the first president of the Ekiti State Council of Chambers of Commerce. I want to be governor of Ekiti State to bring sustainable development to Ekiti State. I am going to bring good governance with integrity, because any endeavor where the chief executive has no integrity and the people do not trust him cannot make any headway. Also, I'm going to develop the human capital aspect of our people, because right now we have an army of unemployed youths and unemployable youths, because most of them do not have the requisite skills and competencies to get a job. Also, I am going to create wealth through heavy investment in agriculture, mining, tourism, in cooperative movements, and in infrastructural development.
Okay.
Education
Thank you very much, sir. Your time is up. Thank you very much. Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party, reeling out, of course, what he has to offer the people of Ekiti State if he's voted governor for the next 4 years. A candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Akinloye, Mr. Akinloye, Ayegbusi, please speak to the audience and, of course, all stakeholders across the world, your name and, of course, what you have to offer the people of Ekiti if voted as governor.
Good evening. My name is Akinloye Ayegbusi. I'm the candidate of Social Democratic Party. I am from Ikole Ekiti, Ekiti North Senatorial District of Ekiti State. I was a banker until maybe a couple of months ago when I took a leave of absence. I'm an investment banker. I participated in major deals within the country in conjunction with Infrastructure Bank and some other syndicated loans like that. We've offered a lot of services to corporate and international bodies. We were the ones, I was part of the team that activated what we call Eurobond, that as we presently have it now in Nigeria now, by having a lot of roadshow here and there and all that. Why I want to govern Ekiti, I'm actually devastated by the level of poverty that we presently have in the state. And my mission in this state is to eradicate poverty. Ekiti State, as we used to know it in those days, used to be a place of pride. So much pride and integrity, honesty, and all that. Those were the things we were known for. If I'm elected governor, my manifesto simply is to eradicate poverty by, as a matter of urgency, working to generate IGR internally, working to, as a matter of urgency, increasing the morale of the youth. On education, as much as possible, we want to bring sporting activity to divert the attention of youth from what we call frivolous activity. And as a matter of urgency, to as much as possible attract investors that we...
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, candidates of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Akinloye, Ayegbusi. Thank you very much for that. And the last, but definitely not the least, candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Segun Adewale. Mr. Segun Adewale.
Yes, okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Segun Adewale. I'm from Ekiti. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in business for the past 22 years, all my life. I started business without capital. And right now, my business grew from 0 to about 10 billion naira every year. So right now, Ekiti State right now is dependent on allocation from the federal government. So the main reason why I came to Ekiti is to try and shift and have a reorientation from living on the federal government and start creating wealth. Our emphasis in Ekiti State has been on education only, on theory. I'm here to make sure we convert that knowledge that we have to wealth. That's why I'm here. How do we convert our knowledge to wealth? We've got a lot of professors. The highest number of professors in Nigeria are in Ekiti, and yet we are poor. So what do? We need to start creating wealth. How do we create wealth? By creating enough entrepreneurs, by creating vocational centers everywhere, where we will convert our raw materials to finished products, our cassava to gari, our plantain to plantain chips. So we're going to partner with firms like IITA, bring in some firms from abroad, where all our raw materials that we have in Ekiti State can be converted, and sell in Lagos, Abuja. We're going to have a farm produce centers where we sell our raw materials. Our emphasis here has been on education, education, education. So that's why I'm here, to convert our knowledge to wealth.
Thank you very much. The candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Segun Adewale. Well, just for your information, to let our audience here know, and of course our viewers all across the world, that we did reach out to the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, and of course, candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Professor Kolapo Olushola, Eleka. You can, of course, you would notice there are 2 empty seats here. These seats were supposed to be occupied by them. We're hoping that in the course of this Ekiti Debate 2018, that the 2 gentlemen will walk in. Otherwise, we will continue, of course, with tonight's event. All right, let's start off right now, but let me start first by informing you, you have 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to respond to every question that will be asked or posed to you tonight. And we have made provision for another extra 2 minutes for a rebuttal. And that rebuttal means that you have the opportunity, each of you, to ask any of the candidates here tonight any question concerning any of the areas that we're focusing on tonight. Is that clear, gentlemen? Thank you very much. All right, let's begin this way. Like I told you earlier, we're focusing mainly on the areas of education, security, health, jobs. Hopefully time will permit us to even touch on tourism, agriculture, and of course human capital development, which seems to be a common thread. If you look at what all the gentlemen have said, even in their write-ups, they'll tell you that they want to focus seriously on human capital development. But I'm sure that what people would want to know is the how, not just what you want to do, because that seems to be the missing link. The how exactly you will fix education, how you'll fix health, how you'll fix security, and all of that, gentlemen. Let's begin with education. And I would like to stick to the alphabetical order by beginning with the candidate of the Accord Party, AP, Mr. Aluko. Now, Ekiti, is blessed with highly educated people, available human resource, all manner of human resources, all manner of natural resources in Ekiti State. But unfortunately, this has not translated into better life for the people of Ekiti State. What exactly is the vision that you have if you're given the mandate to govern Ekiti for the next 4 years? How will you change that narrative?
It is very true that Ekiti State is blessed with a high profile of people who are well educated. Ekiti has the highest concentration of PhD holders and professors. But this has not translated into creation of wealth, into improving the standard of living of the people. This is because the type of education we receive has been tailored towards government job. We have not been given the entrepreneurship mindset to be able to do things for ourselves, to be able to survive on our own without government work. It is not a sin to want to do government work, but what I intend to do is, by the time I become the governor of Ekiti State, those that we can put into government employment where there are vacancies, we'll put them. Those who already have the technical skill to be able to operate on their own, we are going to make sure that we give them further training and empowerment. Those that do not have the requisite skills, we are going to give them the necessary education, the skills, empowerment, and support by government and patronage through research and development scheme, and ensure that government gives them the necessary support. And we are going to make sure that the natural resources that we have in Ekiti State, we exploit and use them sustainably. Agriculture, in terms of tree crop production, in terms of animal husbandry, in terms of arable crops, and also we are going to ensure that fishery and all those things we can use to be able to develop Ekiti State. Because for now, Ekiti State virtually depends on the federal allocation. Our IGR is so poor, we need to beef it up and create a conducive environment where the education that we receive can become functional, where you do not have to have a certificate and you are unemployable. We are going to make sure that we add skill and competence to the certificate that you have, so that at the end of the day, you will be able to even compete favorably in the international market through ICT, because most of our graduates are not ICT compliant. We are going to use ICT to make sure that everything we do is in accordance with international standards. So our education will be made to be functional, not just certificates.
All right, thank you very much, sir. The candidate of the Accord Party, AP, Aluko. Thank you very much. All right, the next, of course, is the same question to both of you, gentlemen. Candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Mr. Akinloye, Ayegbusi, what exactly do you plan to do to change this narrative where there is this paradox of a state that is replete with professors, doctors, all kinds of, great human resource, but unfortunately it does not reflect when it comes to the dividends of democracy for the people of Ekiti State, both at the leadership level and, of course, in human capital development?
Ekiti State, as we know it today, in every 50 kilometers in Ekiti, we have 50 professors. That's the way it is said. And what do we have to show for it? It's just poverty and deprivation everywhere. What we intend to do is, as a matter of urgency, and I'll keep using the word urgency because the situation we have in Ekiti now calls for, maybe we'll call it a state of emergency. We need to bring in as many, as a rule, maybe because of where I'm coming from, we need to bring in investors to industrialize Ekiti through by using what we have, our natural resources, to create value chain in agriculture. And what do I mean by value chain? If we have, for instance, I'm going to be very practical with what I will say. If we have businesses like investors investing in like one of our products, like our rice, if there's investment in our rice to the tune of, let me say, 20 billion naira, for instance, and we start trading with Lagos. Lagos has 25 million population. If we were to take our rice to Lagos, if Lagos people are feeding maybe minimum of 200 naira on our rice per month, that's 200 naira times 25 million is 5 billion naira. So on that 5 billion naira, on just the rice alone, if we taxed at 10%, that's 500 million naira. So what that means is that our IGR has actually gone up by 500 million naira. That is on one side. We have oil, red oil. The red oil, I have a customer of mine that...
How does that affect what you will do in terms of education? And how you will make it reflect in the life of the Ekiti people?
The educational system we have presently is very faulty. It only encourages us to go into white-collar job. So we want to, as much as catching them young from secondary school, telling them that your hand is your destiny. So if you can go into, entrepreneurial-based education, encouraging our young people to go, even from schools, to start doing educational vocation and all that. And we have vocational schools all over the place and all that, encouraging them to be self-reliant. And because for me, first thing we need to eradicate in this thing, like I said earlier, is poverty. So education is one side, but we need to eradicate poverty. So eradicating poverty and education, that is changing the curriculum to entrepreneurially based educational system. Like we have in Abeokuta, we have a lot of businesses there. But while Ekiti and Ondo were busy studying and reading psychology and some of those courses, those people were busy, investing in entrepreneurially related educational system. So over time, there's been that disparity. You see a lot of businesses there where we don't have anyone here in Ekiti. So like I said earlier, we first of all, as a matter of urgency, need to get money into the state as a matter of urgency. Maybe because my background, everything I talk about is money. So,
candidate of the Social Democratic Party there, SDP, Mr. Akinloye, Ayegbusi. Now, of course, the same question goes to candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP,
okay.
Mr. Segun, Adewale. How do you plan to change this narrative? Will yours be using education to promote development in Ekiti State? How do you plan to go about it?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. See, I'm an embodiment of what you are discussing now. My emphasis was on education before. I thought to be rich, you must have a BSc degree. I have a BSc degree. I thought, okay, to make more money, I need to have a master's degree. I did MSc. I couldn't get a good job. I did a master's degree again in public administration with emphasis on project management and evaluation. But I was still poor. So the same thing is happening in the Ekiti State. So many professors, and yet we are poor. We need to have there must be a standard deviation from the way we do things. Some courses need to be eradicated entirely. Why are we still having graduates with BA linguistic or Latin? So my plan is that we need to have a vocational centers in three territorial districts where we teach leadership, entrepreneurship. Very, very essential. Why is emphasis on GNS 101, GNS 105? We should be teaching entrepreneurship 101, entrepreneurship 201. I have a BSc, MSc, MPA. I didn't use it. I went to school to learn a trade for just 1 month. I left all my BSc, MSc. I'm using the trade, what I learned in a month in aviation and travel. That's the point. I have about 300 staff. But our emphasis in Ekiti is that they believe to be successful, you must be well, read. But the reverse is the case. We are poor. So to change the settings, we need to change. There must be a reorientation of why are you created? What do you want to do? I ask myself, why am I created? To be rich. Miles Monroe says that your problem in life is 50% solved the moment you imagine the reason why we are created. Ekiti State, our syllabus is archaic. We are still teaching what we taught in 1930, 1940. The economy has changed. The economy of Nigeria has changed from what you study in school to what do you know. You will be poor if you went to school to study. Now the economy is asking you, what can Ekiti do? What can we do? What can we offer Nigeria in return to make money? To make money, you must have a USP. You must have an identity. Identity of education alone will make us poor again. So I'm an entrepreneur. My plan is to create urgently vocational centers, 3 in Ekiti, teaching leadership and entrepreneurship.
All right, thank you very much. The candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Mr. Segun Adewale. In other words, Nigeria's education, where it is right now, is not necessarily functional, and so it cannot meet the demands of the future unless something is done drastically about it. We will continue to move around in circles. That's what the gentlemen have said as far as education is concerned. Let's move on to another very, very vital part of our lives, not only in Ekiti State, but all across Nigeria, and it has to do with security. Security is a major challenge. There's the, not too new security challenge, which is Boko Haram. Fortunately, that seems to be easing off gradually, hopefully. But then there is a herdsmen-farmers clashes, especially in the north-central part of the country. Ekiti State has been affected too by the herdsmen-farmers clashes. But then there seems to be some kind of system that has brought about some level of peace as far as that is concerned. But then herdsmen-farmers clashes remain a major problem, including, of course, kidnapping, cultism, and all manner of violence all across Nigeria. Mr. Abiodun Aluko of our court party, what do you plan to do to fix the security problem of Ekiti State? And hopefully it is a template that can fix security in the rest of the country. You have 2 minutes.
Well, insecurity is a fallout of dislocation in the governance chain. When young people are unemployed and they are let loose, then devil finds job for them. The issue of Boko Haram, most of the people who are in the Boko Haram are not illiterate. Most of the people who are kidnappers are university graduates because they have no other job. The first way to fight insecurity is to make sure that the youths are adequately provided for. And then we need to overhaul our security architecture right from the federal level. I'm in support of creation of a state police or neighborhood police, because we know ourselves, we know who is who, and everybody, we should be security conscious. So government should try the best it can to make sure that it creates a conducive environment where everybody has job opportunity, where you can do business, and nobody is there to want to kidnap you. When everybody is fully engaged, then insecurity or violence will come down. There is no country in the world where there is no form of insecurity. Even in the US and UK, advanced countries of the world, we have insecurity, but it is the level. And it is good governance that can solve majority of the problem, and then security consciousness. So when I become governor and we create this neighborhood police, of course, it's going to bring down the insecurity in the state, and we are going to provide jobs for our youths so that they do not look into the other direction of trying to kidnap people. They are gainfully employed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party, on how he will tackle the security challenge that Nigeria is facing right now. Now to you, Mr. Ayegbusi. There is a system in place right now as far as the farmers herders clashes is concerned in Ekiti State, will you retain that system that seems to have brought about some level of peace as far as that security challenge is concerned? Or do you have a better way of tackling that problem? Not just the herdsmen crisis, of course, but of course other areas of security.
I think I have a more radical approach to it than what we presently have. But my experience with the Fulanis, because I grew up in the north, if you give them an inch, they take a mile from you. Ekiti land is for Ekiti people. It's our ancestral land and it belongs to us. We're farmers, so we can't afford to share our land with cows for whatever reason. So we will not give any of our land for ranching. We will not give any of our land for we will not lease out any of our land for Fulanis. For ranching. It's not allowed because over time it will still result to crisis. And just like we're having in Benin, Taraba, Adamawa, and all that, it started gradually by just giving a little opportunity, and it resulted to something else. So I don't want to have a major crisis on my hand. And like on the issue of kidnappers and all that, if the youth are gainfully employed, there is employment, there is underemployment, there is underemployment. So, but when they are gainfully employed, that is employment to the optimum. We won't have issues of kidnapping and all that. But on my own, I think when we come to government, what we want to do as much as possible, we'll mobilize the locals to watch. Everybody needs to be their neighbor's keeper. So everything strange, because it's actually a problem that has come to stay, whether we like it or not. And it's gradually moving, because the middle belt is almost decimated already. So Ekiti being a major homogenic environment, I think whatever has to be done as much as possible, we retain what we have now and we review it. So, but like I said, a more radical approach to it, that any form of herdsmen is going to be allowed in Ekiti as much as possible to guarantee the safety of our lives and our farm in the short run and in the long run.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Akinloye Ayegbusi of the SDP, the Social Democratic Party. Let me come to you, candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Mr. Segun Adewale. Herdsmen farmers clashes is not the only problem that Nigeria is having. There's kidnapping, there is cultism, there's ritual killing. More and more young people now believe that they have to go the way of rituals to make money. How do you plan to tackle this security challenge?
Okay. Well, I'm not really bothered with what is going on now, because the governor of the day have done well in that regard. The only thing I know we need to do more is invest more in securing the lives and property of our people by making adequate provision for quality infrastructures. Like most of the vehicles they are using are dilapidated. Even most of the police stations are dilapidated too. The cells are bad smelling. We need to invest more, to secure the lives and property of our people by investing more money. The police are not really motivated in any way. I've seen them so many times, talk to them so many times. Some even complain that the governor is not really spending the security votes adequately. That some of them are supposed to be paid X amount of naira and not being paid. So what we need to do more is to invest in human capital, make people happy, rather than investing too much money in capital projects. So if we invest in our policemen, we give them quality equipment, fine, they perform well. But I've not seen too much of kidnapping in the Ekiti State. What we just need to do is to motivate the DSS, motivate the policemen. That's all. And they work well. Their vehicles are rickety already. The police station, you see potholes in the police stations. The tables, the benches are bad. The cell is smelling. So we need to just make sure if you are earning the security votes, you should spend it judiciously on what is meant to be. But the reverse is the case right now. The police are not taken care of. But by God's grace, when we get there, we'll do the right thing. I thank
All right,
you.
thank you very much, Mr. Segun Adewale of the Action Democratic Party, talking to us about what you will do in tackling the security challenge in Nigeria. All right, moving on now, there are two other issues that are very, very important to Nigerians: healthcare delivery, and of course, other issues that we hope that we'll be able to raise here tonight. Let's look at health. Nigeria's burden when it comes to maternal and infant mortality is extremely high, about the third in the world. As a matter of fact, over 400 of every 100,000 mothers die in the process of wanting to give birth. That is a very, very unfortunate statistic. There are twin problems: the issue of accessibility and, of course, affordability. How much more the quality of healthcare that the average Nigerian gets, whether it is in Ekiti State or in all 36 states of Nigeria. Mr. Aluko of the Accord Party, how do you plan to make healthcare accessible, affordable, and of course qualitative, not only to mothers or children, but to all people in Ekiti State if you become governor?
Well, we have developed a holistic program towards affordable healthcare service in Ekiti State. Luckily, my deputy is a medical doctor. So we have sat down and we looked at the healthcare infrastructure in Ekiti State, and we discovered that a lot needs to be done in terms of even the health personnel, because there are so many who have been practicing as doctors or nurses for 20, 25 years and have never gone back for any refresher course. And most of the hospitals are dilapidated. There are no drugs, and government should do everything it can to make sure that everybody has access to good health care. And the wealth of a nation is measured by the health of the citizenry. When you have people who are not in good health, then their productivity, of course, will be low. So we are going to make sure that we provide for youths, those who are between the age of 0 and 6 would enjoy free health. Those who are above 70 would also enjoy free health. Those between the age of 6 and 70, government is going to make sure that they enjoy heavily subsidized health care, so that nobody dies unnecessarily because he cannot afford to pay hospital bill. No, because the reason for being government is to make life comfortable for the people. So this is why we are in government, to provide for the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aluko of the Accord Party. Let me bring this to you, Mr. Akinloye, Ayegbusi. What will you do to fix the poor, dismal state of health, not only in Ekiti State, but of course, our specific interest is Ekiti State? How are you going to fix that? Maternal health, childhood health, and of course, health for all, affordability, accessibility, and quality.
There was this concept of ABA health care sometimes in Ondo State. I love it. It's about taking care of mother from prenatal to postnatal, to delivery. So in Ekiti State, what we want to adopt from conception to delivery, it will be free medical care for the women, automatic. And for a start, we will ensure that age 60 till they pass on will be free medical care for the aged. Also, in every community, we want to have what we call primary health care services in as many communities as possible. Primary health care is preventive health. So to make sure that at the lowest, from very short distances to wherever you live, there will be those doctors that will attend to you. Because we find out that over time now, what killed some of our people is sicknesses that ordinary Panadol could cure. That's one. On the other side, we're looking to do, Ekiti states we're Christians, so we want to attract as much of these doctors without border, these Catholic people, to come for specialized ailments, so at a very subsidized rate. So on both sides, for the women, that's for maternal women, so it's free for them. It's free for them. Primary health care in every location, that's two. Then for the aged, free. From 60 years and above is free medical care for them. Those are the things we intend to do. Then on prescription drugs, we want to adopt, there was a style that one of the administrations in this state adopted. We have different big chemists in different locations. And we have power bikes to deliver drugs to anywhere within 1 hour in Ekiti. So we want to have that back.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Akinloye Ayegbusi of the Social Democratic Party there. Now, over to you, candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Mr. Segun Adewale.
Okay.
What would be your unique selling point when it comes to providing health care to all in Ekiti State if you become governor?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm an entrepreneur. What I do most is to convert nothingness to money. My emphasis is on creating wealth. By God's grace, when I have the opportunity, we intend to invest in the health sector by making sure we provide quality equipment. Let me give you an example. In Ekiti State, if you are sick and you need to do an MRI on your knee, on your hand, there's no hospital in Ekiti State that can provide, that have the equipment. How much is MRI? So people have to travel all the way to Oshogbo or go to Ife to conduct the test. It's so sad. That's the point. So my plan is to make sure we have the equipment, the basic equipment. I'm not talking about too much. The equipment should be basic, like you want to do an X-ray, it's available. MRI is available. You are sick, it's available. That's one. Then two, the rich among us should fund the health sector in conjunction with the government. Maybe by way of insurance scheme. If you are poor, if it's just 100 naira per year that you are paying, fine. When you are sick, we will take care of you. We will just levy you 100 naira. But the main thing that is germane here now is to take care of the doctors, the nursing, make sure the hospitals that we have, are fenced. Make sure we have security men taking care of the hospital. Making sure we have basic things, basic equipment like MRI. You don't have to travel all the way to Ife just for a test. So.
All right, thank you very much, candidate of the Action Democratic Party ADP, Mr. Segun Adewale. At this point, I would like to give opportunity to our viewers and, of course, our audience right here to chew on what you have heard from our candidates so far as it pertains to security, education, and, of course, health. At this point, let's take a short breather. When we come back, we have more questions for our candidates. Stay with us as Ekiti Debate tonight. Right, you're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us as Ekiti Debates 2018 holds this beautiful Thursday in the city of Ado-Ekiti. Of course, we have three candidates here of the Accord Party, the People's, the Action Democratic Party, ADP, and the Social Democratic Party. Right. Now, we have heard from them as it pertains to security, education, and of course health. Let's move on to job creation now. Right now, it is said that lack of employment is a ticking time bomb that is about to go off in Nigeria if something drastic is not done about it, and Ekiti is not left out. Ekiti has that burden just like every other state in Nigeria. Let me begin with, of course, as usual, in alphabetical order, Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party. What exactly do you plan to do to create not just jobs, but to provide the enabling environment for a state like Ekiti to actually be one of the shining lights when it comes to jobs? A state that has huge amounts of tourism potential and what have you. You have 2 minutes to respond, sir.
Joblessness has become a very great threat to security and a very big problem to good governance, not only in Ekiti State, but in Nigeria. What I, as the governor, plan to do when I get into office is, one, to make sure that our youths, particularly in terms of human capital development, because most of the youths, they have certificates that they cannot use. Human capital development in terms of skill acquisition, training, empowerment. Number two, we are going to invest in industrial development. The Bank of Industry is there for us. If you have ₦1 billion and you deposit it in the Bank of Industry, the bank is going to give you ₦2 billion. With ₦2 billion, you are going to empower not less than 2,000 youths at an average of ₦1 million per youth. We are going to use our natural resources of agriculture and solid minerals where we are very, very rich to make sure that the youths are given opportunities, because not everybody can be given government job. We have to create opportunities for them in terms of providing for their needs, and we will make sure that we create a job search center where anybody can go and look for a job through ICT and so many other facilities that at least except anybody who is not ready to work, there will be opportunity for everybody to get something to do through resource-based.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party. This question is to you, of course, the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Mr. Akinloye Ayegbusi. What will you do to change this troubling situation where there are no jobs, not only for the teeming population, but especially the youth?
I mentioned earlier when I said that we will change our educational curriculum from being knowledge-based to entrepreneurially based. The biggest economy in the world is America. And what do? Small businesses. So we want to create an enabling environment for the youth to access loan, government-backed guaranteed loans to do businesses. And when we come to power, our emphasis will be to the youth to say, I want to de-emphasize white-collar job. What can we do for ourselves? What can I do for myself? What opportunity, what trade can I do? So we'll make funds available. And how do we get these funds? There are a lot of international organizations that we have relationship with that we intend to attract to come to Ekiti and get pool of funds from them as to be given to artisans, and small businesses, so that they can spring up in different locations. And the way economy works is such that everyone that are invested in an economy, the multiplier effect of it has a way of regenerating. So what we intend to do practically is to, as much as possible, encourage our youth to go into business. The emphasis of our administration is actually the youth, because as a matter of fact, we're sitting on a time bomb at the moment. If we have over 65% of the population as youth and jobless, then we are taking a very very, very dangerous risk. So what we intend to get the youth out of the street or to get them employed is to encourage them to do business by getting them access to long-term loans to do whatever kind of business they want to do, and encourage them, train them in entrepreneurial skill and money management.
All right, thank you very much. You still had 15 seconds or so to go, but that's fine.
Okay, no.
Yes.
I thought my time was up.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. Now to the candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, Mr. Segun Adewale.
I have demonstrated it in my life.
Okay.
I run businesses, I create jobs, I have staff in almost everywhere in Nigeria. Most of the people competing right now are employees. They can't boast of even employing maybe one person. We have professors. They've been earning salaries all their lives. I have a banker here. He's been earning salaries all his life. So I run businesses. I know how to create wealth. Ekiti people should give me the opportunity to run, to govern. We will create wealth. We will create businesses. We will create opportunities. We will bring investors to Ekiti. We create an enable environment. People will come. The PDP candidate, professor, PhD war, the APC, professor teaching in OAU, they've been earning salaries. They've not paid anybody salaries before. They can't even boast of paying salaries. I've been paying salaries for the past 22 years. So I can do it. It's not a big deal. So what we need to do in Ekiti State is create an enable environment. Investors will come. Make sure you give them tax exemption. Make sure you fix the energy. Energy is the issue. In Ekiti, everywhere there's darkness. From 6 p.m., darkness. In Boeing, for the past 9 years, no light. So that's the point. Create an enable environment. Bring in renewable energy. It's going to cost us $3 million per industrial zones. We're going to have industrial parks in the 3 senatorial districts where we generate power with just $3 million. That's about $1 billion. Because $1 million is about 360 million naira times 3, about less than 1 billion. And we spend about 14 billion constructing a bridge that leads to nowhere. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Segun Adewale. No clapping, please. No sound from the audience. Please be reminded. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. The candidate of the Action Democratic Party there. All right. Since Mr. Adewale mentioned electricity and the fact that there is darkness everywhere, well, as a matter of fact, it's not only Ekiti that can say that. Let me take you up, gentlemen, on the issue of electricity. Is there a way at all that you can actually fix that problem, especially with the present structure of the power or the energy sector as it is right now? Candidate of the Accord Party, Mr. Aluko.
Yes. The issue of electricity, though it's the federal government that is mainly responsible for provision of electricity, but we in Ekiti State, we have dams that through which we can generate electricity. We have the Egbe Dam there, we have the Ero Dam there, and we have we have this Agilos one in Ado-Ekiti here. So the issue, and then we can go into waste to generate electricity. Equally, these days, solar energy is there. But it's a matter of political will by the government and prioritization. Because without energy, there can be no industrialization. There can be no business. So energy is very important. And government is going to ensure that we do what we call either strategic alliance with the service providers for electricity or public-private partnership. Because it is beyond a state government to single-handedly generate electricity on its own. We are going to bring in experts from all over the world. We are going to go into synergy with them to provide electricity. The Chinese now, they do it, they provide the electricity and you pay. It's either through solar energy or through hydro or through gas, so that if the people are faithful enough in paying as at when due, I mean, there are businessmen all over the world who are ready to come to Nigeria to help us. So Ekiti State is going to take advantage of this international cooperation in providing electricity for our people. It is doable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party. Now, this is to you, of course, Mr. Akinloye Ayegbusi of the SDP. Will you be able to have what it takes to actually control as far as power is concerned in Ekiti State, especially with the present structure of the country?
What we presently have in the country is such a very difficult terrain, power. I mean, generating it from the states. Now, because even when you are bringing in foreign investors to invest in your power, there are a lot of regulatory issues involved. So, but for a start, as a palliative to augment this, the pressure and the stress that the electricity of 1 hour per month, 1 hour is as bad as that. Some places will tell you that they've not even had light for 4 years. I've gone all over Ekiti State, and those are the testimonies I hear every day. So one of those things we intend to do immediately, that's what we call step down power. When you step down, ordinarily it's supposed to be installed by the discos, but for scarcity of funds on their part, that's what they will tell you. So immediately bring what we call step down. That is those powers that generate, those power lines that passes through Ekiti, will step down power from there and generate electricity. So what that does to you is that it ensures that anything above the normal wattage is cut off, but the power comes to the people. And as a matter of urgency, we need to discontinue with Benin Disco. We have Kwara, we have Benue, we have Kogi. The electricity is better than what we're getting from Benin Disco. So we do that step down. It's costly, but we invest in it. We get it done. Over time, we recoup our money. Also, for places like our tourism centers, like Ikogosi and places like that, we attract foreign investors to either come do renewable energies, because when you look at those terrain there, it's very, very comfortable and conducive for renewable energy. So we'll give them the enabling environment to come so that we can have 24 hours light and to use that again to generate money, because it's an income. At some point, they were making as much as 45 million naira per month from Ikogosi, but now we're making 1.5, because whatever it is that is made is used to buy diesel and whatever we have.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Segun Adewale, you already raised the issue, so we'll let this pass. I know you have something to say, but would like to crave your indulgence so that we can go on to the next session, which has to do with a rebuttal. Like I told you gentlemen earlier, before we started the question and answer session, we would like for you to seize the opportunity to ask either gentleman, of course, all three of you can ask either one, any question that you think is a burning issue as far as the issues we have raised here tonight: security, job creation, health, and of course the issue of power. You have direct questions to ask. Please do that, and we'll leave that to your discretion to decide what question you want to ask and who you want to ask. Let me start with you, Mr. Abiodun Aluko of the Accord Party. Who do you have a question to ask tonight? Do you have a question for either gentleman?
That you should ask me a question?
Yes. Do you have any question for them? Maybe on the issues they raised already?
For either of the two of them?
Either of them.
No, I have no question to ask.
You have no question?
To ask from them.
Okay. So you're satisfied with every thing they have raised concerning security, job creation, and all of that?
The other candidates?
These two gentlemen here.
These two gentlemen?
Yes, please.
I don't have to take them up on their own program. It's mine that is important to me.
All right, let me move on. Mr. Segun Adewale, is like you're curious to... Yes.
On the issue of power, very, very important, because you didn't allow me to talk.
I want a rebuttal. I'm sure you all listened to what you had to say about the different areas, the core areas that we asked questions tonight. And I'm sure that you're curious to get more meat out of what either gentleman has said tonight? Do you have any such question in the area of security, in the area of...
No, just for me, I think you didn't even allow me to say anything about power.
Okay, let me give you that opportunity then.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, because I believe that with power, we will change the status quo in Ekiti. Because even if we provide an enable environment, how will businesses come all the way from Lagos? Because we have the same terrain with Osun State. How people travel all the way to Ekiti? But with power, with renewable energy, we have done study about. I met people. I've met partners that are willing to come to Ekiti and give us energy through gravity. It's going to cost $3 million. It will generate about 10 megawatts that can power the entire Ado. 10 megawatts, just $3 million. So, sir, it is possible to have 10 megawatts with $3 million through partnership. There are businesses abroad. They are trying to come to Nigeria to invest. So we are not going to pay them to generate light. It costs about 30 naira per kilowatt. If Ekiti is generating light at 10 naira per kilowatt, businesses will be everywhere. People will be coming because the major factor that is affecting businessmen like me. That's what I'm saying. That's the key word. Most people we are competing with they are earning salaries. So we pay. So I run businesses and we pay salaries. And our problem is energy. If you can do it at 15 naira per kilowatt or 10 naira per kilowatt, businesses will flow. Will move to Ekiti State. Then Ekiti State will prosper. Simple. It's just maximum is about 1 billion naira. And what is 1 billion? We have the money. It's available everywhere.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Segun Adewale of the ADP. I'll still remain with you. I believe you have one or two questions for either gentleman.
No.
In any area. You don't? Do you have any question for either of the two gentlemen? In any area?
I just want to clarify something with...
okay.
Yes,
go ahead, please.
Our big brother here. Tax exempt. To give tax exempt is a federal law.
Tax exempt?
When you are giving tax exempt, it's not something you can give within the state, especially when it has to do with foreign-related investment and all that. You have to... There are laws and regulations around it that it's not something that can just be done within the state.
Okay. All right. Since none of you has any specific questions, let me use the opportunity then, because, look, it would be totally remiss not to talk about tourism. Ekiti State is a state that is, driving into Ekiti yesterday, I drove through Efwalaye and I saw the beautiful scenery. I actually took videos and I was like, just imagine what Ekiti State can achieve if the tourism potential of this state can actually be tapped.
Obudukatu Ranch.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. What we have in F1 stroke is location. He knows what I'm talking about. A lot of potential is there. So much potential that we need to show the world what we really have. How do we show the world when Ekiti is an isolated place that is I call it a landlocked state, to the south, to the west, to the east. Now, for a white man that wants to come to Ekiti, the first thing he wants to look at is like, how do I reach there? No airport here. So I'm saying, is there a way we can? I'm still coming back to the F1 axis anyway. Is it possible for us to have a kind of collaboration with Ondo State government, such that the airport there will bear Ekiti Ondo International Airport, and we sign agreement with all the airlines, your area of specialization, to see every airline that comes from there comes with a shuttle bus to Ekiti. Now coming to Ikogosi, we used to have Gosi Water. UAC has tactically divested.
All right, you know what? Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We do not have time. Fún àǹfààní àwọn tí wọn ò gbọ́ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì, a fẹ́ kí àwọn tí wọ́n fọ̀rọ̀ wéwọ̀ àtọ́ fi ọ̀rọ̀ wé ọ̀rọ̀ níbí báyìí lálẹ́ kí wọ́n sọ ní èdè Yorùbá ní ṣókí ní bí 5 minutes. Gbogbo nǹkan tí, okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Gbogbo nǹkan tí a ti ń sọ látàárọ̀ nípa security, nípa iṣẹ́ fún àwọn ọmọdé tí wọ́n ń jáde láti school tí wọ́n ò ríṣẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Mr. Biodun Aluko of Accord Party. Ẹ ṣé sir.
Ẹ ṣé olóòtú. Ìdí tí a fi gbé ìjọba kalẹ̀ òun ni láti rí mọ̀ pé ààbò wà fún ará ìlú, ìgbé ayé ìrọ̀rùn ó wà fún ará ìlú, wọ́n rí jẹ, wọ́n rí mu, iṣẹ́ wà fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́, kò sí àìlèsùn, kò sí àìlèwo, nítorí wípé ìwé tí a fi ń ṣe ìjọba, nǹkan tó wà nínú constitution Nigeria òun ni security of lives and property. That is the first nǹkan tí ìjọba wà fún nìyẹn. Nígbà tí àwa bá ti dé ìjọba, a rí mọ̀ pé àti ọmọdé àti àgbà, àtọkùnrin àtobìnrin àti ọba àti ìjòyè, oníkálukú ló máa mọ̀ wípé a ní ìjọba tó jẹ́ pé ó ṣetán láti tẹ́ ìlú lọ́rùn, ó ṣetán láti rí mọ̀ pé ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ó ń lọ déédéé, ó ṣetán láti rí mọ̀ pé ìwòsàn tó lọ déédéé wà, ó ṣetán láti rí mọ̀ pé àwa iṣẹ́ fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa, ìjọba tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn èèyàn wọn á lè fọkàn tán wípé ẹni yìí o bó ṣe ń ṣèjọba yìí ó tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn, pé kò kí ń ṣe ẹni tó yẹ pé oníjàgídíjàgan tàbí olè tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ pé ṣe ló ń kówó wọn jẹ. Ìjọba tó jẹ́ wípé gbogbo èèyàn á sọ pé àti ìrírú ìjọba ilé ìrí láti gbà tí a ti dé Ekiti State. Ìjọba tó jẹ́ pé a fi ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run ṣe, tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ará ìlú la wá sìn, a kì í ṣe òjèlú, a wá sìn ìlú ni láti rí mọ̀ wípé ìgbé ayé àwọn ènìyàn wa ó rọrùn sí, wípé eku ń ké bí eku, ẹyẹ ń ké bí ẹyẹ, àwọn ìyá wa wọn ní máa kú ní hospital láì ní ìtọ́jú.
Ẹ ṣé gan sir. Candidate Accord Party Mr. Abiodun Aluko. Mr. Segun Adewale, kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ fún àwọn ará Èkìtì kí wọ́n fi dìbò fún yín ní July 14?
Mo fẹ́ sọ fún wọn pé ṣe rí gbogbo àwọn tó ń díje, àwọn tó fa wàhálà ta wà nú ẹ̀yìn ni, àwọn tó fà tí kò sí owó, tí ò síṣẹ́, táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ gan wọn ò rí owó oṣù wọn gbà, àwọn bàbá wa tó ti rìtáyà tí wọn ò rówó gbà, àwọn náà ló ti padà wá in one form or the other láti wá rú wa. Ẹ fún new party, new candidate, ẹ fún wa ní opportunity. Ẹ má lọ kálọ́sọ́ lọ dìbò fún àwọn tó kó wàhálà wà bá wa. Then lórí ọ̀rọ̀ iṣẹ́, àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọn ò ríṣẹ́ ṣe. Èmi tẹ́ rí yìí, a ti kàwé, a ṣe ìwé akàwé UI, a lọ UI, a lọ Unilag, a lọ LASU, dé masters degree, a ríṣẹ́. But a rò pé kí ni iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ wọ̀ la lè ṣe. Tẹ̀bá iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ òun la ṣe, tàbí ṣe business nsìn. A dẹ̀ ní staff tàgbà more than 350 staff ló ń ṣiṣẹ́, and so more than 14 million as salaries. Tẹ̀bá fún wa opportunity, à á create iṣẹ́ wà fún yín, salaries náà à á san. Ẹ má lọ dìbò fún àwọn tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ rí, tó wọ́n fọwọ́ ara wọn dá iṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ rí, tágbé wọ́n gba salary ni, tí wọ́n yìí gbà, tí wọ́n yìí ṣì ń gbà dèní. Ẹ dìbò fún ìyàn tẹ́ pé ó ti ṣiṣẹ́ tó dá lé iṣẹ́ fún rẹ̀ rí for the past 22 years, tí iṣẹ́ ilé iṣẹ́ ọ̀dọ̀ the problem. Ẹ má ti lọ dìbò fún another problem that will lead to another continuation of poverty. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Ẹ ṣé gan Mr. Segun Adewale. Ní ṣókí Mr. Ayegbusi, kí lẹ fẹ́ sọ fún àwọn tí wọ́n wò wá láti ilé báyìí?
Nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún àwọn ará Èkìtì ni pé ẹ jẹ́ kí á dìbò fún ìjọba tí ó máa fi ọgbọ́n orí ṣe ọrọ̀ ajé wa, tí a máa ní owó lápò, tí a ní máa wà stranded, tí a ní máa wà ní ipò rọ́jú jẹ rọ́jú mu mọ́. ìjọba tí ó jẹ́ pé ó máa ṣe tó jẹ́ pé ààbò fún ará ìlú ló máa jẹ́ lógún jẹ́ pé gbogbo nǹkan tí ó bá máa gbà ni ó máa fún láti make sure pé eku ké bí eku ẹyẹ ké bí ẹyẹ ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi ìbò wa fún àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀lú tán kóra wọn jọ tó jẹ́ pé owó wa náà fi ń ṣe wá lálejò election ti dé sí báyìí wọ́n á fún wa lówó wọ́n á fún wa ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Somebody said, and I'm quoting, Emma Benukumo Soloivo, he said the Ekiti State is a virgin that is constantly being raped every 4 years. Emma Jekaton Rawa, Democrat Milkoa, in Jagba, Lauren, Eora, Nomikoa, Ewa Bunomisha Bulalejo. But you see, you have a government that you can trust that has your back. As a matter of fact, we will go from location to location to know what they want, aside from what is our own manifesto. That is giving power back to the people. I feel make sure pé gbogbo source tí a ti máa get owó tí àwọn èèyàn máa rí owó yá láti ṣe òwò wọn then láti encourage àwọn èèyàn láti máa ṣe òwò kàkà ká máa fi gbé certificate kiri ká máa wáṣẹ́ a fẹ́ di emphasize ẹ̀ àwọn ìlú tó ti ṣoríire ní orílẹ̀ àgbáyé àwọn ìlú tó yẹ pé wọ́n máa ń ṣòwò ni so tá a bá ṣòwò á jèrè when you are subscribing to just 18,000 naira minimum wage is as good as Polu ti sign pé poverty ló máa fi lé ayé òun máa struggle ni because you can never get out of it. So what we're saying is ẹ jẹ́ kí a fọwọ́ wa ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí a bá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa sọ̀rọ̀ and it has gotten to a level whereby for the past 7 years 8 years poverty non-self empowerment oríṣiríṣi náà máa rà fáwọn ọmọ wa but tá a bá wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ni máa tú ajẹ́ lọ́dún mẹ́rin ẹ jẹ́ kí a jọ fi ọwọ́ wa ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí a encourage entrepreneurship.
Very much Segun, candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP Akinloye, Ayegbusi. Before we close this evening, I'd like to thank this audience. You have been great, you've been awesome, abiding by the rules. Thank you very much. Now you can give yourselves a round of applause, please. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Enough is Enough, a non-governmental organization that stands for the exact values that the TVC stands for, the organization that I belong to. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for organizing this Ekiti Debate 2018. We look forward to it another time. Now, candidates, I would like to implore you to shake hands so that our viewers, everybody who is interested in this Ekiti election will know that truly political process, our democracy is not a do or die affair. Gentlemen, you want to rise and shake hands, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. In 10 seconds, please. Thank you. All right, super. What a perfect opportunity. Please take your seats one more time for a few seconds. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, this is how we wrap it. This edition of Ekiti Debate 2018 brought to you by TVC in conjunction with Enough is Enough. It's been a pleasure hosting this. My name is Ngozi Alebu. Of course, I believe that you now know exactly what the candidates have to offer. And I cannot, of course, miss the opportunity to thank the TVC crew for doing a fantastic job. And of course, all of you, thank you so much. Let's see you again. I am Ngozi Alebu.